The influence of social and political philosophy on scientists is significant, as it shapes the societies in which they work. The progress of science is closely tied to the advancement of philosophy, as it provides the necessary tolerance for scientific development. Despite our belief in societal enlightenment, scientists in modern times have also faced persecution, highlighting the ongoing challenges they encounter.
Science today is a collaborative effort that involves scientists living and working in societies, rather than working alone in isolation. The research that scientists can conduct is influenced by the conditions and values of their society. Advancements in social and political philosophy have played a crucial role in protecting scientists who challenge the established order from being executed. This has allowed for the development of ideas that have the potential to improve the world. Comparing the state of science before and after the rise of ideological tolerance in the West is like comparing the darkest night to the brightest day. Experimentation, even in the form of thought experiments, has historically been viewed as dangerous by reactionary members of society. Prior to the establishment of social and political philosophies promoting tolerance, pluralism, and liberalism, expressing nonconformist viewpoints could lead to severe consequences, including death. The heliocentric theory in the early modern era serves as an example of the challenges faced by scientists when the prevailing social philosophy rejects tolerance for new ideas. Copernicus, for instance, only saw the first copy of his book on the heliocentric model on his deathbed. He intentionally made it technical and detached from reality to avoid controversy. While this strategy protected him from the Inquisition, some of his supporters were not as fortunate. Giordano Bruno, who held nonconformist views on Copernicus's model and the possibility of an infinite universe, was less tactful and faced a tragic fate. He managed to upset multiple religious establishments and was burned at the stake by the Roman Inquisition for his heretical beliefs. Galileo Galilei, a well-known figure, faced similar consequences for his support of heliocentrism. He spent the rest of his life under house arrest, his writings were banned, and he was forced to renounce his scientific stances. This treatment influenced other scientists, such as René Descartes, who chose not to publish his book on the heliocentric model due to the mistreatment of Galileo. Although the idea of the Earth revolving around the Sun eventually gained acceptance, scientists continued to take precautions to protect themselves when researching topics that were considered illegal or heretical. Even Isaac Newton had to keep his alchemy work hidden and exercise caution due to his unconventional views on Christianity. Throughout history, limited tolerance for dissent was the norm. Even societies that may appear more open-minded to us today had narrow limits on acceptable beliefs. For example, in ancient Athens, Anaxagoras of Clazomenae narrowly escaped execution for arguing that the sun was not a god. Socrates, on the other hand, was not as fortunate and received a death sentence for his alleged belief in strange gods. Over time, societies gradually became more tolerant. John Rawls, an American philosopher, argued that the European wars of religion played a significant role in promoting tolerance as a philosophical stance and political policy. The failure of states to achieve religious homogeneity through force led to the acceptance of religious minorities. Philosopher John Locke, a contemporary of Newton, strongly advocated for religious tolerance and is considered one of the first proponents of liberalism. Other Enlightenment philosophers followed in his footsteps, including Rousseau, who emphasized the importance of tolerating religious and ideological differences. In the 19th century, John Stuart Mill, who himself faced discrimination for being a religious nonconformist, argued for wide levels of tolerance and civil rights in his work, On Liberty. He highlighted the crucial role that freedom plays in intellectual progress and the importance of protecting individuals from limitations on their ability to experiment in their lives, as long as they do not harm others. Many scientific advancements of the past 150 years, including Darwinian evolution, relativity, and quantum mechanics, have greatly benefited from arguments advocating for the acceptance of new worldviews and experimentation. While there is still progress to be made, scientists with well-reasoned arguments or unconventional lifestyles are no longer persecuted. However, Like science, philosophy is an ongoing process. Societies have experimented with various ideas, and there are instances where intolerant views become popular. During these times, all forms of experimentation, both personal and scientific, can be dangerous. State-sponsored persecution of scientists has occurred in recent history, particularly in authoritarian societies. One of the most alarming examples is the Soviet Union's state-sponsored campaign known as Lysenkoism, which rejected genetics and natural selection in favor of a Marxist understanding of inheritable traits. Many biologists who objected to this theory were fired, imprisoned, or even executed. The rejection of scientific principles in agriculture led to a decline in agricultural yields and contributed to famines that resulted in millions of deaths. The Soviet government also denounced other fields, such as pedology, statistics, and cybernetics, for ideological reasons. In Nazi Germany, factions actively denounced modern physics as Jewish science. The impact of this campaign on German attempts to build the atomic bomb is still debated. However, it is undeniable that the persecution of Jews drove many talented individuals out of Germany and significantly affected the quality of German research for years. Distortions of science for political purposes are also evident in the United States. Many atomic scientists in the 1950s lost their jobs due to their opinions. Teaching evolution remained illegal in some states until as late as 1967, and remains a controversial topic in certain areas today. The political climate in some parts of the United States is making it increasingly difficult for universities in Florida to retain or attract academics. Science flourished when philosophers began advocating against the killing of those who held different beliefs. This is a lesson that humanity has had to learn multiple times. It is crucial that we continue to work towards a society where this lesson does not need to be repeated.